enthusiasm.
We're all winners.
I should have done this earlier. Can we go around and tell everyone what our random item is? What do you guys have? Cheese grater.
Calculator.
Calculator. Bike helmet.
Owl.
An owl.
A space shuttle ornament.
Space shuttle ornament.
Plastic Roman headlight.
Excellent. The goofy.
Collagen bra. Ski goggles.
Ski goggles.
Lighthouse.
I don't know.
Yes. It helps to know what you do, what it is, if you're going to write about attributes about it. 7 Up.
Cookie cutter.
What shape?
State, the U.S., the United States.
Okay. What do you guys have?
Snow globe.
Snow globe of
London snow globe.
London. We have Chichen Itza. And what do you guys have?
Golf ball.
With?
Mickey Mouse. Golf at Disney World.
Excellent. So here's the question. Did everyone come up with at least one thing?
Oh yeah.
How about at least 3 things?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you had at least 5 items. 7 items. 10 items. 15 items. 20 items. How many items did you guys have? 21. That's a good. Point being, with about 5 minutes of time, everyone came up with at least 5 ideas for how we can boost recruitment or retention at our clubs. That's pretty cool. Someone, when I did a dry run of this, said, can you use any object? I think we saw with the diversity of objects that, yes, you can do this with any object, and if everyone's coming up with at least 5, that's pretty good. What were some of your ideas? What was your guys' ideas? What with the lighthouse? What are some things you came up with?
Yeah. My Toastmasters Club is the light.
Toastmasters Club is the light. Okay.
My Toastmasters Club leads the way to a better life.
Okay.
Toastmasters leadership helps you succeed.
Excellent.
Toastmasters participation is comforting in the rough waters of life.
Good. Let's see. What space shuttle hat? What were some of your favorites?
It's also a Christmas ornament.
Okay. Yes.
Giving out presents or awards or some sort of incentive.
Incentives and awards. Excellent.
And they also connected via Christmas movies and space shuttle movies, and these are educate. We have a lot of connections here.
Was there a Christmas space shuttle movie?
Probably.
Awesome. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. Just intrigued.
Toastmasters related movies, either on the various speakers here. There's some sort of videos you can watch or contests or whatever to get people interested in where you could go eventually.
Right, or like YouTube advertisements. That's a great way to do it. Have videos at the meeting. That's a great one. Okay? What about the helmet? I know you guys are avoidant of using the helmet.
Publicity at Toastmasters Bike Ride for Charity.
Bike ride for charity. Okay.
Costume party.
Fair enough. Costume party. Gift for joining. Excellent. Very cool. And the last one I want to focus on, the owl. What were some of the owl attributes that we came up with?
Well, there's quite a bit. Number 1, owls have excellent vision, so we're always on the lookout for new members.
Recruiting. Excellent.
We give a hoot about how we talked about it being nocturnal, so we decided we want a pajama party, Toastmaster Club, where everybody comes in their pajamas with popcorn, and we will talk all night.
Excellent. I do want to hear from the group that had 21 things. I want to hear like 3 of your best ones that you came up with regarding 7 Up.
Well, as you know, 7 Up is the un-cola, so we want to make sure we're celebrating being different, and
Being unique.
diversity.
Okay.
7 Up's a good mixer, so we want to be good mixers.
Yes. You want to get along well with others, okay.
And 7 Up is clear. You need to be about the benefits of Toastmasters.
And be transparent. No one wants someone where they're hiding stuff. Excellent. Give yourself a round of applause. You guys did great. There are two other elements I want to briefly touch on. They weren't big enough to make an activity, but they were kind of, you guys probably experienced them. I think, was I talking to you guys about one of them? What did I mention when you guys said, who said they got stuck? Someone said they got stuck. What did I say? Do you remember what it was called? That's okay if you didn't. Your focus on the goggles. Right, I got it. There's a process called the third. So when you're coming up with ideas, think of all the ideas you're going to come up with and divide them into 3. So probably what many of you experienced was early on you came up with a bunch of ideas. It was easy. There was ideas left and right. And then they probably got a little harder. Anyone experience it get a little harder, get a little tougher? Probably entered the second or third. The thing to note with that, you may want to go take a walk. Sorry, should I let you go take a walk if you got stuck, but you want to get away. And the unique thing about the third is oftentimes they don't come forward as quickly. They take a while. But because they've been stewing in your brain, they're really good. They're a really good idea. And so when you get stuck, look to the third and keep working into that third, even though you get stuck and you're like, yeah, I came up with everything. Because your good ideas might still be coming. The one other item I want to talk about, the direct cousin of the brute think, is biomimicry, which this group, I know, did any other group have an animal? No. Just the owl is the biomimicry. The basic premise behind biomimicry is as follows. Mother Nature has been doing this, has been around for millions and billions of years. You would think she would have a thing right or two. And so you look to nature and you copy nature. Where did we get flying from? The idea for flying. We look to birds. How about radar? We look to bats. Oftentimes, nature has a solution to your problem. So Google nature and some random object, or nature and your object, and see what nature gives you as a solution. Does anyone have any questions? This is a good point for questions. Yes?
Scott, what if you're like me, and there might be people in this room who come out of, I'd call it a corporate structured and really inhibiting environment, and you're talking about stepping outside the lines and thinking outside the parade. Some people know being a true and free-spirited free spirit, like Jay Schaefer's last book. But it's very difficult to do that. How would you reprogram and knock these folks out to be able to think outside the box, the lines, and the parade?
Well, I don't think you're going to reprogram anyone. I think, though, first of all, some ideas, they won't stick. You can pitch the best idea. That's first of all, they may not go with it. The other thing to keep in mind is that the rules, they might be there for a reason. Creativity really comes into play if you can find a way around those rules. Not around those rules. Don't break any rules. If you can find a way to, your design meets all the rules, that's where creativity comes into play. Because if we have free reign, that's easier. But this creativity, this is when you really need it, when there are the restrictions there. And so that's one of those elements. That's one way you can do it, is, and a lot of ideas. Something's got to stick eventually, too. What else? Tim?
Well, you gave us random objects.
Yes.
Do you think there's any value in trying to pick a good object to work with?
You can. You can pick a random object, or you can pick an object related to what you're looking at. Along those lines, let's say you were looking for flight, and you were trying to build a plane, an owl would be perfect because you could look and see all the elements of the wing, and you can specify. A random object just works as well. The point was to show you that a random object would also work. Any other questions? Excellent. In the middle aisle, we're gonna pass things now. We're gonna pass random objects to the middle aisle, and the people in the middle aisle are gonna pass our flyers radially outward. We're going to go through the worksheet flyer real quick. So pass the items into the center so we can shot that. The owl. Oh, it's a nice owl. Thank you. Thank you. Trick or treat. Thank you. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Anything else? Snow globe. Any other items? Just an easy. All right. Let's look at this worksheet. At the top of the worksheet, it says describe a problem you are currently facing and don't have a solution for. This is your homework. Write down a problem you are actually currently facing. I can't talk to my husband. The kids won't listen to me. I don't know what the problem is you're facing. Whatever the problem is, though, I'd like you to try these techniques. Take this home and see if these techniques work. Maybe you can come up with a couple solutions on how to get the babysitter to stop stealing from you. I don't know. just throwing them out there. So try to come up with a couple solutions using the techniques we learned today. The rest of the worksheet goes through what we learned today. First part talks about scaffolds, connections between the various objects. And remember, it's the connections. More scaffolds equal more ideas. Therefore, to be more creative, you need to build more scaffolds, which is what we spent today doing. The mental map. You start with the object in the center and draw those connections going outward. So for an example, let's say you were trying to come up with a fundraiser in New York City. You start thinking about New York City, skyscrapers, Yankees, Broadway, How I Met Your Mother, Donald Trump. And you start thinking about Donald Trump and you say The Celebrity Apprentice, that haircut. And you think, haircut, let's have a loss for a loss. So there's an you like that. But there's an opportunity. You can see how the connections are built just by randomly coming up with the objects. Groupthink was the next activity we went through. You take a random object and you force the connections between them. And if you're trying to come up with attributes of the random object, use a mental map. The quick takeaways. These are the points I went through earlier. Biomimicry, generating ideas from nature. We talked about the third, where that's where some of your best ideas come into play. And write down your ideas. This is probably the most important point I went through today. I couldn't say that earlier because I didn't stop listening. But probably this is one of the most important things that you can do. If you really want to be more creative, you need to start journaling your ideas. It is incredibly helpful. I'm speechless. It's terrific. Finally, if you like what you learned today, we have some resources. Thinker Toys talks a bunch of different ways, techniques for coming up with ideas. A Whack on the Side of the Head deals with creativity. How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. It's a great book. Has a lot of different techniques you can do. Back of the Napkin is a book. It's a bit different than the others. Back of the Napkin talks a lot about coming up with a visual representation. It's kind of tied in with creativity. You have to present your information differently using a visual. So Back of the Napkin's a very good one as well. There's lots of creativity books. My name and email is up at the top. Please feel free to contact me. Does anyone have any other questions? All right. Once again, build scaffolds. Groupthink and mental map are the two techniques we went through. And the more scaffolds you have, the better off you are. Thank you guys. You guys were a great audience. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Scott. Now, just two more things before we depart. One, there's an evaluation for Scott. It's in your handouts, and it's in your folders. One other thing, on behalf of the district, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.